Welcome to Joy's Tech. This is the 80th dynamic programming problem in my dynamic programming tutorial, which also implies that there are 79 more for you to learn and practice. 80 is not a small number, and if you do each and every DP problem from my dynamic programming tutorial at least twice, then you will find yourself in a good position in the world of algorithms and coding. In this video, we are going to look into the DP problem of minimum cells required to reach destination with jumps equal to cell values. Another interesting problem from the world of metrics for you to solve. Let's now take a look at its problem statement. You are given an m by n matrix of positive integers. You have been placed at the cell 0, 0 and are asked to reach the cell m-1 n-1. In other words, you are at the first cell of the matrix and you have to go to the last cell of the matrix. You need to determine the minimum number of cells of the matrix that you are going to pass till you reach the cell m-1, n-1. That means the last cell. Remember the minimum number of cells that you are going to cover. Like every problem which involves movement within the matrix, there is a condition which defines the movement. The condition is that from a cell I, j, you can move to a cell that is at a distance equal to the value of cell I, j, either to the right, that means in the right direction, or down below in the same column. For example, take a look at this matrix of dimension 3 by 5. This means there are 3 rows in this matrix and 5 columns. When you are at the cell 0, 0, then the value is 2. So you can move to either the cell 0, 2 or 2, 0. Let's say if you are at this cell, then what is the value here? 2, right? So you can move to this cell from here on the right or this cell in the south. Basically, you are adding the value of a cell to the row index and the column index to find the next cell in the path. If the value at a particular cell forces you to get out of the matrix and no other way is possible, then you should print -1. This means that there is no way of reaching the last cell of the matrix from the first cell. We will construct an algorithm using the dynamic programming technique to solve this problem in the DP framework. But before I move there, I request you to subscribe to my channel as well as hit the bell icon, because that way you will get notified whenever I release new videos on dynamic programming and you won't miss out on any one of them. Let's switch to the framework now. The first matrix here is the problem matrix given to us, and the matrix beneath it is the solution matrix. The solution matrix has been filled with 100 because I have chosen it as the maximum value. In relation to all the integers here, 100 seems the maximum value. You can choose any max value you want. Remember, the m is 3, which represents the number of rows, and the n is 5, which represents the number of columns. To start with, I'll populate 1 in the first cell of the solution array, because this is the base subproblem, the first subproblem. Had the matrix be of just one cell, then the number of ways from the first cell to the last cell, even though they are the same, would be 1. Let's look at the value which is there in the first cell of the problem array. It is 2. So I can move either 2 cells on the right or 2 cells down from this first cell. But first I'll have to check whether moving on the right hand side as well as down south is possible. If I'm checking for the right hand side, then I'll have to add the current column index to the value 2, and if I'm checking for the south side, then I'll have to add the current row index to the value 2. Current column index is 0 and the row index is also 0. So 0 added to 2 is going to give 2. Let's compare the value of this result with the value of n, which is 5. So 2 is less than 5. It means that on the right hand side we can move. Similarly, adding row index 0 to 2 is going to give 2 again. We'll have to compare this value with the value of m, which is 3. Here 2 is less than 3. Hence, we can move down from here. Now we will populate the values in the cells to which we can move. Since we are at subproblem number 1, hence we'll simply add 1 to this value and populate in this cell on the right hand side. But in the subsequent iterations, the value in any cell may get populated already by some other iteration. So there we will have to check if the value we are getting now is less than the value already present there. If yes, then we populate this new value, otherwise the old value stays. So let's do that check now. 1 plus 1 will give me 2 and we will compare it against the value already present here, which is 100. Since the value 2 is less than 100, hence we'll populate 2. We'll populate 2 over here too because it is less than 100. You may be wondering why I added 1 to this value over here. It is because adding 1 denotes that you will have to pass one more cell in your path to the destination. With this strategy, let's move to the second cell. Take a look at this cell. It has 100, which is the maximum value. The maximum value indicates that this cell will never fall in our path to the destination, so we should skip this cell. Now, there are 3 conditions we need to check. Number 1, if the cell we are investigating contains the maximum value, then we need to skip it. Number 2, the value of the same cell in the problem matrix when added to the current column index or row index, then the result should be less than n and m. If the value in the next cell we will move to is less than plus 1 the value in the current cell, then it stays, otherwise it is replaced by the new value. We will check these 3 conditions for every cell we encounter in this matrix. So if you are a little bit confused with any of these conditions, then don't worry, you are going to get quite familiar with them as we proceed. So just keep watching this video. Alright, so this is our next cell in the move, and we are going to check condition by condition, and we are going to determine which is going to be our next cell. So the first condition is that the value in the cell we are investigating must not be the maximum value. So here we have 2, which is not equal to the maximum value, which is 100. So first condition is satisfied. Now we move to the second condition. So let me first write down the address of this cell. So address is 0, 2. 0 is the row component and 2 is the column component. So we take a look at the value in the same cell from the problem matrix, which is 2. If I add a 2 to this row component, I get 2. Now this 2 has to be less than 3. So it is less than 3. Alright. Now this 2 I add to the column component, which is 2. I get the result as 4. Now 4 I compare with this 5. So 4 is less than 5. Hence it is certain that we can move right from here as well as down from here. Alright, so the second condition is also satisfied. Now what we are going to do in the third condition, we are going to add 1 to this value over here, which is 2. So we'll get 3, and that 3 we are going to compare with this value because we are going to move to this particular cell on the right hand side. 2 plus 2 gave us 4, and this is the fourth column. Similarly, 2 plus 0 gave us 2, and this is the second row. Alright, so 3 is less than 100, so we will populate 3 over here, and 3 again is less than 100, so we will populate 3 over here. Alright, so we have 2 more cells populated. Now let's move to this cell and I'll eliminate this address over here. Now the first condition itself is denied, that the value in the cell we are investigating must not be equal to the max value. So the max value is 100 and it is the value which exists here. So we are going to skip this cell. We move here. Now the first condition is satisfied because we have 3 over here. And I'm going to write the address of this cell. So the address of this cell is going to be 0, 4. We check the value here of the same cell in the problem array, which is 4. I add 4 to this 0 to the row component, I get 4. Now that 4 is greater than 3. Okay, so we cannot move down from here. I add 4 to this 4, which is the column index or the column component. So I get 8. Now that 8 is greater than 5. So we cannot move right from here. That means this path has hit the dead end. We cannot go anywhere from here. But there are other possibilities. We are going to explore them. And that is why as of now we cannot report -1. Let's move to this cell. Okay, so we will have to skip this cell, and you know why. The first condition itself is denied. Let's move to this cell. We will have to skip this again because we have 100. This cell will also have to skip. Similarly, this cell as well as this cell will have to skip. Cool. Now we come to this cell. So the first condition is satisfied because we have 2 over here. Let me write the address of this particular cell now. So it's going to be 2, 0. Let's check the value over here. The value is 1. Now this one, when added to the row component, which is 2, gives me 3. Now this 3 is not less than this 3. Okay, it is equal to 3. So it is certain that we cannot move down from here. Logically speaking, we cannot move down from here, and that's what we are determining. Now this one, when we are going to add to the column index, we'll get 1. Now that one is less than 5. So we can move on the right. There is a possibility. Okay, so the next cell will be 2, 1, right? Because 1 added to this 0 is going to give us 2, 1, which is this cell. So now let's jump to the third condition. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a 1 to this value. All right. So it is going to give me 3. I'm going to compare this 3 against this 100. 3 is less than 100. So I will populate 3 over here. Now, if you check the path, then this is the third cell, and that is what it is saying. Now we move to this cell. Let me first write the address over here. So it is going to be 2, 1. Now the first condition is satisfied. It is not equal to the maximum value. Let's check the value of the same cell in the problem array, and it is 1. 1 plus 2 is going to give me 3, and this 3 is not less than this 3, so we cannot move down from here. Common sense says that we cannot move down from here, but I'm just demonstrating how the algorithm is going to calculate that. Now 1 added to this one, which is the column index, is going to give us 2. 2 is less than this 5. That means we can move on the right. So the new cell to which we can move will be 2, 2, which is this cell. Now the third condition will come into play for the first time here. 1 added to this value will give us what? 1 added to 3 is going to give us 4. Now that 4 will be compared with this value already present over here, and which is 3. Now 4 is not less than 3. So 4 will be eliminated and 3 will stay, because we need to find out the minimum number of cells that can be covered while moving from the first cell to the last cell of the matrix. Cool. We cannot move down from here, so we are going to skip that part. Here the value is 2. 2 we are going to add to the column index. We'll get 4. 4 is less than 5. So we can move on the right. And the next cell which we can move to will be 2, 4. Okay, so 1 added to this 3 is going to give me 4. Now that 4 we are going to compare with the value of the cell represented by the index 2, 4. So here the value is 100. 4 compared with 100. 4 is less than 100. So this 100 will be replaced by 4. And we have our solution populated in the last cell of this matrix. Although we have one more iteration left, but we are going to skip that because here the first condition itself is not satisfied. And we have got our answer here, which is 4. So there are 4 cells, or I should say 4 is the minimum number of cells that we are going to cover if we start from the first cell and move to the last cell of the matrix. Now let's take a look at its algorithm. This is the algorithm. It is ready to use. You can incorporate it in your program. I recommend that you build a program around it because that will help you understand this problem better. With this, we have come to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed learning this problem. Do give this video a thumbs up and let me know in the comment section how do you find this video. I am working hard to help you with programming and algorithms. Until the next video, goodbye.